Hi everyone, Parul here, your usual host for this podcast. Today I have an amazing person. You've heard her before, Lena JO, as our guest speaker today, and she will be talking about health and well-being. Lena JO is joining us from all the way from Sweden, which is very cold at the moment. Um, yeah, so who is Lena? Before I introduce Lena a bit more, I'm going to welcome Lena on board. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
Uh,
letting me come.
And we're looking forward to hearing all your tips. Okay, so who is Lena? Lena Jo is a certified gender intelligent life power coach, helping people to find and grow their life power in different areas of life, both personally, in business, and in their physical and psychological well being. She is an international speaker, number one best selling author. She is an educated physiotherapist, pastor, and a teacher, as well as family counselor. She is passionate of helping others to find life power on a holistic ground and have helped many to gain a better life and find themselves on their journey of life. So welcome on board, Leana. I'll ask you some question. I know I've summarized your bio, but feel free to add anything else you want to add. But I have a few questions to ask you to kind of share your knowledge with our clients so they can understand how some of your top tips, also understand how they can look after themselves as well.
Yeah, I'm
So,
looking forward to it.
okay. So, can you first of all tell us what kind of increasing themes or issues you see in your current client?
Well, earlier, I could see it was much more about how to come forward in life and to get more goal setting and things like that. But recently, it is a lot about their psychological well being, mental well being for themselves, but also for their children. And it is a growing problem with that people have decreasing mental well-being and it going down in the ages. Small children also feel stressed and depressed, and that is not so good sign.
Absolutely. I think mental well being is something we've seen increasing everywhere,
Yeah.
all over the world. And there's lots of reason for that. Um, and you kind of touch on a bit more. So can you tell a bit more about what are the causes of this issue?
Well, I think it's a lot of things. And also, you can see how the world looks right now. And we have very good access to all the news, all the negative news. And all the children, they are having their iPads, their iPhones, and they have the news in their palm. So it's very close to them. They can see everything what is happening, even if it's not close to where they live. So all the scary things come so close. So that's one thing I think. Um, and but it's also other things. And something, if we should start at the very beginning, as they say in Sound of Music, start at the very beginning. It's a
That's a
very
nice
good
music.
way to start. Then I should start with the family. Family is a very important thing for a person, and especially for the small children when they're grown up. And science has showed that before 3 years old, it's so important for a child to have a secure and safe adult to connect with, a connection. And if we could help grown-ups to feel confidence, you are talking a lot about confidence, but to have confidence in their parenting, I think we could come a long way. Because it has shown that children who are brought up in a safe environment and with a safe connection with a grown-up, they have much easier to cope with life later in life, the problems and adversities. and they have easier to connect to other people, to have a long-lasting love relation. It's a lot of things that comes with a good upbringing. So if we could help parents to get confident as a parent and to get tools how to be there emotionally, but also putting good rules, positive rules for the children, and be active together with the children, I think we could come a long way.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. I think, you mentioned a couple of points really good. Nowadays, everybody, adult children, gadget, and we get all negative news.
Mm.
And that obviously cause serious issues. And so balancing is really important. Yes, we need our gadgets, but also balancing what you do, other thing, outdoors. I know you are a great artist, you do arts and therapeutic stuff. Yeah, so it's balancing, whether it's our children or ourselves, it's really important to
Yeah.
balance our life. Absolutely. And you start talking about other causes. Also, at the end, you started to pointing out how we could prevent it. So I'm going to ask you to elaborate more. What can we do to prevent all this? From the beginning, you talked about young age. So from the
Yes,
beginning, what can
yes,
we do
and
to prevent it?
prevention. I think family is it's the first institution in creation. We have the family, and if we have secure parents, they get secure and safe children, and secure children, they become a secure grown up, and then we can have a secure society because they are building up the society. And if people are, we need fellowship. We don't want to be alone. We are created to be together with other people. And I think that today's isolation and loneliness is a very big problem. So if a child feel secure and at home in their home, they think that they can talk to the parents or their sisters and brothers, they have a safe haven, then a lot of things would be solved, like the gang criminalities, for example. These young, the gangs, they are looking for young people who are lacking confidence, they are lacking families, they are lacking friends, they are feeling isolated and alone, and they need somewhere to belong. And if they can belong at home, that is a secure haven. They don't need to go out to um, to uh, to explore the gangs to get somewhere to call home.
Absolutely. Really important point, Leona, you mentioned the something I do on radicalization. We've seen when things happen in the world, young people get brainwashed and radicalized to do things
Yeah.
that they don't want to do because they are not in a secure environment. So it's really important from very beginning. Foundation start at home, as you said, and then it goes to school. But if we said before even they start school, we're building up the foundation, keep talking to young people, providing them a secure home, secure environment, so they feel they belong there.
Mm.
Absolutely great point, Liana. That's really good point. And you also talked about adults. So as an adult, how they could feel secure, what they need to do to balance their mental health and well-being, so they can look after their children. Can you elaborate a bit more on that as an adult?
Well, it also starts when they were child, but it isn't just because you have had a bad experience as a child doesn't mean that you will not be a responsible, successful grown up. It's a lot of healing. Now I lost the English words here, but it's easy. It's not difficult to get healed again, even if you have had problems before. We are we are persons who, if we get the right environment, if we have good friends, if we had a good partner who is giving us the love and support we need, then we are able to heal, and we can be one of these adults who can help other children. But also, I would go back actually to teenagers and young. If we go back to how important the family is, and to feel at home and to feel a part of a group, especially young girls nowadays, they give sex or intimacy for being able to belong somewhere, to have someone to like them. They want to be loved, and then they mix sex together with being loved. And also, we grown-ups, we have been cheating our children, I think, the new generation, young generation, because we say that, well, go out and try. You have to try relationships so you know that you get the right one. When actually the brain is being confused with casual sex, especially young girls. And that is not morally or religiously or traditionally that we are saying this. It's brain science who shows it. Because now you can measure a lot of things in your brain. You can see it on scans, and you can see how the brain is developing and reacting to different things. And what the neuroscience have noticed is that when you have a sexual relationships, you are not just bonding with your soul, but you're also bonding in your brain. So you're building bridges in the brain. You get new structures in the brain when you have a sexual relationship with a person. And if this relation breaks up, it tears these bridges in your brain. So actually you get small brain injuries. And if you're doing that a lot, it's like you have these, wait a minute, Post-it papers. It's glued. And if you do this many times, the glue will suddenly not glue so good. And that is what happens with the young brain. If you have a sexual relationship, you're glued together. It's a good glue. And it was supposed, the brain is made this way that you should have a long-lasting relationship. But if you are tearing this away all the time, in the end, when you are perhaps 35 and you want to get a family, you have much more difficulty to stay together because the brain is not working together with you as it should. It's hard work. It will heal, but it's hard work. And the brain is actually not ready. It's not ready developed until we are 25 to 27 years. And how many young people don't have a sexual relationship before they are 27? So before 27, it's very difficult to see the consequences of your acts because the brain isn't ready developed. So to have these big decisions before you are 25, 27, it can have consequences. Oh, it was a long speech here, but the brain is a very important thing. How you can have your how your mental well-being is, and young people who have casual sex and one-night stands, they have more easy to become depressed and have not feel so good psychologically.
Well, thank you, and thank you for taking us through the neuroscience as well. Not everybody understands that, but it's really good to get the background how things kind of develop, and it goes into the worst case. Um, I know you talk about nutrition balance quite a lot, and I know you are nutrition. You do quite a lot of other stuff as well, part of your work. Now, can you share a bit more tips on? You talked about how to prevent it. Can you share a bit more
Mhm.
tips on um, what people can do from young age, and also who hasn't done something in young age, if they're adult, what they can do to help themselves to stay. You talk about family, you talk about relationship, staying
Mm.
together. So if people are feeling kind of like not there, loose, dysfunctional, different feelings, what can people do either for their children
Mm.
or for themselves to feel better?
Well, you say that you become what you eat, and it's a big truth in that.
Yeah,
And we are we are a whole being. We are not just the brain or the gut or the blood vessels. We are functioning as a whole person. And the fatty acids, for example, that is a way to prevent um, diseases and decreased well-being, and because the brain is also just a lump of fat, and if you have the wrong fat in your brain, then you will not feel so good. So if you had the right fat in your brain, then you will feel better. The brain will heal. So we need a lot of omega-3, because in our diet today, it's a lot of omega-6. And we need omega-6 too, but not too much. Nowadays, we have a lot more omega-6 in our blood than omega-3, and they should be equal. So if you have too much of the omega-6, you get an imbalance, and that can also have affect your mental well-being. So, and also the gut, it's the second brain. So you have to have fibers, the right fibers in your gut. Then they will connect. The brain and the gut will connect, and you have better chances to have a good well-being psychologically. And I can also mention in Persia, Iran, and Afghanistan, 1,000 years ago, the doctors, they were using saffron for helping people if they were depressed or had anxiety or stress problems or couldn't sleep. And still today, they are using saffron tea before they go to sleep to have a better night's sleep. So there are good things in the nature that can help us and build us up, so we can be stronger and have a better uh, have easier to cope with everyday problems.
absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Um, you also, I mean, as well as balancing your lifestyle and nutrition, I know you do lots of creativity stuff as well. So, do you want
Yes.
to add anything kind of from that perspective? Yes, nutrition is important, food is important, and you talked about, yeah, brain and gut. Yes,
Mm.
definitely, gut is our second brain. But in terms of physically being active and stimulated, what else can we do?
Well, I'll say that. I just forgot to tell you that it is possible to take a blood test and check your fatty acid balance. And I'm happy to help you with that if you want to see how your level is. Well, I'm a physiotherapist, so of course I think to move your body is very important. And it's been known for ages that when you're moving your body, the serotonin in your brain is getting higher and you feel better. And a very good tip actually is if you stand like this, it's almost impossible to be depressed. it's
Yeah,
a
I didn't
happy
know that.
moment.
That's really good. All you do is
Yeah, you
stretch.
stretch your hands and you look up in the sky and you open up. Yeah.
Open up your
So
lungs, open up your hearts. That's really good
yeah,
tip.
and I think it's interesting, but try it. Try to feel depressed.
Yeah.
So if you feel depressed, try to do movements like that. So that's one easy thing. And I mean, dancing, a lot of dancing is making you feel happy. You listen to music, you have both the music and the movements. And as an artist, I also studied how the brain is affected by art and creativity. And it has the same function. It higher the serotonin level, so you feel better. You have a better mental well-being, and also it affects the prefrontal part of the brain. So take your pen or your art gears, or start singing or dancing. It makes miracles. And in my praxis, I also have art retreats because I see that people who are painting and having the colors in front of the eyes and mixing colors, something happens on the inside. And things that you perhaps don't, you're not able to talk about, but you can paint it. Or when you're painting, thoughts come up and you can start talking about them. So you're welcome to join me at my art retreat in Cyprus, the 24th to 28th of April this year, if you're interested.
That's great, Liana. That's interesting. You talked about prevention, you talked about the issues, you talked about nutrition, and you talked about physical health and the whole life cycle. So this question I was going to ask in the beginning, I thought I'll ask you at the end. So why you call yourself life power coach? What was the reason you put that title?
Well, I had it for many years, but it was really um, important when I myself was in a car accident and I lost all my life power because I got a lot of stress symptom. I couldn't cope with everyday situations. It was really terrible. And then I understood how important the life power, the power to live, is. And I don't want people to feel the way I felt. And it took me many years before I could um, recognize myself again. And all these things, the nutrition and movements and creativity, was helping me. And also talking to a mentor and having the possibility to bounce thoughts and questions with someone else, it was really important. So if you get the life power back, you can get on the track on life again. So I think it's a very important word.
Great. I think absolutely true. Everything you do, Liana, from physical, emotional, mental, definitely is a power, life power. So thank you for explaining. So audience, you heard from Liana, although she based in Sweden, but she works with people from around the world. And also she's got retreat in beautiful Cyprus, is a very beautiful island. I've been once, really nice. And Liana, if people want to know more about how you could help people to get their life power back, what's the best way to contact you?
Well, I think you will have a link here below with my link tree, and there you can reach me on my website or my Instagram.
What's your website name, Liana?
Right now it's called Lena JO, .newsendler.com.
Okay.
I'm going to change that. I'm working on my website.
Okay, so give us your LinkedIn, your name, right?
um, I think so. I don't look at it myself. I'm sorry.
Now we just want people to now we going to put I know we all changes names, yeah. We'll put all the links below this video, so you will have Leanna's bio and also a clickable link where you can connect with us as well.
At least I
um,
know my art Instagram. It's Lena JO Arts.
Yeah, Lena JO Arts. Yeah, I know. I mean, I think when you do a lot of different things, you have different names in different platform. But you also have a Facebook as well. So people can message you on Instagram, in LinkedIn, Facebook. We'll put your link below this video as well. Now, before we finish off, I just wanted to ask you whether you want to share your final thoughts with our audience.
Well, I think that to have a good well-being, you have to take care of yourself all the way through life. How you live, what you're doing, and what you're eating. So it is everything together, and especially find good friends, because they say that if we could see your 5 best friends, we can see who you are. So it's very important who we connect to, and that would also, as we said before, fellowship and having friends is crucial for us. So go out and find new friends.
Absolutely. Well, Liana, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and also sharing really important information about how we can balance life through our thought process, through nutrition, through physical activities, and through taking some measures from the beginning so we don't end up in that situation. But if anybody needs help with your life power, please do connect with Liana. Her information will be below this video, and please do subscribe to our channel, like it, share it, because you never know, when you share you could be helping somebody else who are really need for this information. So please do share and stay tuned for next episode. Bye for now.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
Liana.